take me as I am. I shouldn't have to change how I dress just because it's an interview, just because I'm going to a special dinner. They like me. It's good enough. I have a good personality. If he'll like me, he'll take me as I am. She'll take me as I am. I shouldn't have to try to impress anyone. Those are things people say when they quite honestly don't want to make an effort. But the truth is that presentation is everything. Onlookers don't know you yet. Perception is always taken as 100% accuracy. What you look like is who you are. If it walks like a duck, it must be a duck. Remember that? So presentation is very important. It is that nonverbal communication, right? So if you are going to an interview, you're preparing for an interview, say you're going to be the receptionist, and the receptionist is the first contact, the initial contact of that doctor's office or that whatever the office is, whatever the company is, they hire the appropriate person because that is the first key person to entry. And if she shows up looking any kind of way, most likely she's not going to get hired. Or if she changes after she gets hired, you're going to get fired. I've seen it happen. And they don't understand, well, I was smart enough. Smarts, they don't know that yet. When they see you come in that interview, they call your name. The first 5 seconds, they pretty much decided if they're going to give you a chance. I don't make the rules. It's just the hard truth. It's what that person who is watching you, who is seeing you for the first time, it's what they see. It's their perception of you. It is judgment. And sometimes you have a right to do that because you know what you need to represent your company or to represent you. So your dress, your grooming, your posture even. If you come in and you look like you do not care about your presentation, if you don't care about yourself, how could you care about who you're representing, the company you're representing, the organization you are representing? You have to care and you have to put that attention to detail. You have to make an effort. It will benefit you in the end. Having respect for the occasion is so important. You know, it's been said that dressing well is just good manners, and that is so true. It shows respect for yourself, and it shows respect for those around you. It shows respect for the occasion. I'm going to give an example. If you go on vacations, right, and you may have, you may go to a fine dining that may be one of your events during your vacation. Example, on a cruise. We love taking cruises. And one of the things that I love most is formal night. Now, some cruise lines have changed just a little. They will say, well, you don't have to show up in a tuxedo. You don't have to have a sparkling evening gown. Of course not. Not everyone dresses like that. However, you need to dress for the occasion. It is called formal night. It's the captain's dinner, right? So showing up in shorts and your tank top that you wore on the excursion that afternoon, or while you were just laying by the pool and you want to participate in formal night, you're going to stand out, and you are going to stand out in a bad way. You're going to look like you don't care about the occasion. People are celebrating their nice vacation. There were other options that you could have done, but you know, technically you're still welcomed, right? I don't think they turn people away. However, it shows no respect for that occasion, that evening. You look around and people are in their suits. The gentlemen have, if they are not wearing a suit, they have collared button shirts and slacks and shoes. They're not coming in there with flip-flops. They're not coming in with the muscle shirts. I think you might get turned away for that. But t-shirts with logos, that's not formal. Your presentation, you will get treated accordingly. I promise you. You go into a nice restaurant and you are dressed so well, you're going to get treated differently than someone who comes in who looks like, yeah, I have the money for it, but I didn't care about the occasion. That shows you did not care about the other diners, you know, the other patrons. And it's not just my opinion. I'm sure it's the opinion, and the restaurant has a right to refuse your service. Because have you ever heard of a thing called pretty privilege? And pretty privilege truly, in my opinion, has a lot to do with if someone's attractive, but that attractiveness goes beyond their face. It goes their entire presentation. That person walks in well dressed, well groomed, their posture, they have a nice smile. They're not coming in looking angry. That maitre d' or that hostess, she's going to give you a nice table. You know, an example, I was having dinner with a friend and my family in Beverly Hills, and we had a reservation at the Beverly Hills Hotel at the Polo Lounge. That's my favorite place to eat in Beverly Hills. We had our reservation, and we were brought into the dining. However, they were taking us out to the patio seating, and it's still very nice and luxurious, but that's not where we wanted to sit. So I told my guy cousin, I said, we can't sit out there. That's not where, we don't want to sit out there tonight. So, you know, I let him handle it. We were all dressed to the nines, you know, elegant group of, we were ready to have a nice time. They had already seen us. They'd seen us. And the gentleman said, just give me a couple of moments. He gave us the best table in the house. And it was on Oscar evening, after the Oscars. And there were celebrities at other tables. He gave us the best table. Now, had we walked in being arrogant and we were kind of dressed down, you do have to have like a jacket for dinner, the gentleman. But if we had walked in and the girls, you know, a dress, but idiot dress, just like we didn't care, we just wanted to come there and eat and looky-loo, he wouldn't have given us that table, because that table was almost on a spotlight. That privilege came because we cared. Our presentation was on point. And it's almost like he wanted us to be seen. And I'm not telling that story to brag about it, but I want you to know that these things will benefit you. Even if you're going to, you know, the local restaurant in your community, right? You go in there, you're dressed nice, they're going to give you a nice table. They sit people in the back that they don't want to be seen when other patrons walk in. That is a fact, because I pay close attention to people. I'm a writer, right? So I pay attention, and I've seen people come into an establishment and they be sat way in the back, somewhere on the side, and then other people come in of all races. Has nothing to do with race, so no one can say, well, it's your race. No, that's not brought into this conversation. It is about your presentation. May the best presented win. I don't make the rules. That's just how this world works. And that's how it should be, because it's called a privilege. People have the right to have standards. You have to dress a certain way in order to attend this event. You know, to come to this particular show or what have you. They have a right to do that. And so we want to show respect and dress appropriately, because your presentation, your appearance does matter. When you show up and your visual presentation, that opens so many doors. It opens doors. It gives you opportunities that you may not have had otherwise because you looked appropriate. I have gotten jobs in my earlier years. I've gotten jobs that I really didn't qualify for. You know, so being an assistant in finance, that's not my area. But, you know, I needed a job, right? So I went to the interview. I grew up, I was taught we dressed appropriately for occasions. So if I showed up in a skirt suit and others showed up just not ready for the interview, aesthetically, they were not ready, I got hired. And the manager said, I hired you because you showed up professional. I used to work as a temp when I was 19, and I worked at Ameritech at the time. I don't know if it's still called Ameritech, the phone companies, but I was working in the like administrative pool, like a secretary, and I delivered mail and so forth. And it was really nice, but I would take the elevator every day with the CEO at the time. This was in 1987. I would take the elevator every day and we would show up at the same time. It wasn't intentional because I may have been running a little late at that time. I would be running in, you know. And one day he said, young lady, I've seen you. And I just want to tell you, you always dress so nice. He said, you always dress professional. And this is what he told me. He said, I always tell people, dress for the job you want, not for the job that you currently have. And I may not have been thinking of it that way because it's just how I was raised. You go to work, you know, you go to worship, you dress appropriately. You put the effort in it. But he noticed that. And this was the CEO of Ameritech. And I always remember that. And he has no idea the impact that those words had on me to never forget, because I always tried to look smart when I went to work. And I got respect. And I got to take mail up to the president and the CEO's offices. They asked me to do it. Or if there were notes to be taken, I've been asked to do it. So the same for some of you. I'm sure there are stories you can tell me because your presentation got you through a certain door. It got you through a door because they respected you. And so I just wanted to make this video today and this talking point, because it seems like in this world we live in, we've gotten so casual, right? We've gotten so casual and we've forgotten that presentation is important. The way we look is important. Your appearance is important. Pretty privilege is a real thing. And I know people feel it's unfair. It is fair. Because if I own a company and I had two people that I'm interviewing, one person, and it depends on the environment as well. I do realize that. It depends on the environment. But in the line of business that I myself is in, you know, I'm an author, I'm into fashion. If I hired an assistant, right, and one person showed up sloppy, well, I'm really smart, I went to this school, the other person showed up, she's willing to learn, she has some smarts as well, that's how she got there, but she showed up, her presentation was on point, she was dressed right, she showed respect for me, but she also, foremost, she showed respect for herself. I'm going to hire her because you can learn the rest. Like that job I was hired for, they taught me the job. I didn't know it. I didn't know it when I got there, but they taught it to me. And that just really solidified like the hard truth that, wow, presentation truly is everything. And that was decades ago. And so I'm sharing that with you today. I really hope that you take these points to heart and just continue to invest in yourself, invest in your appearance, because it's so important. It will help you in so many ways. Thank you for taking a moment with me today in this discussion. And it's really important because, you know, the young people coming along, it's important that you know these things. And it's important that we share them with, you know, our kids, our grandkids, because the other side of things, they're saying, it's okay, you just show up and be you. They'll accept you. And that may be true, but you will hit a wall. And there's going to come a point where the feelings may get hurt. So avoid that and just always put your best foot forward. Okay? Put your best foot forward, your best presentation. You're representing yourself, and so you want to do that in the best possible way. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys showing up. It means so much to me. And I hope that you're having a wonderful morning or afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And be good to each other. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.